Hi everyone. Thank you so much. Welcome back to the Azure AI fundamentals. Welcome to welcome back to the module four of welcome back to the section four of the first module of this AI class training. Um, like I said in the last module, I went through the different um models and trainees of machine learning, if you still remember. So we started by what machine learning is, and then we provided an answer, does machine truly learn? Which we got to know that yes, machine learn through from data. And we discovered that okay, these data are generated and they are in their millions of forms and volumes, and we need a systems that need to really study, this data, either they are supervised or unsupervised, and whereby we supply these systems with data as an information, and then we create a model out of it. Then we train these models, and then we retrain the model in order to, in order to predict, one or two things from the models that has been created. And one of those things that we can predict are maybe house price, an image, an item in an image, or maybe if someone has a diabetes, out of thousands of people, and all of that. So we look at different supervised learning and unsupervised learning, and the different type of model trainings and validation that occurs after all those training. So like I said, I welcome you back into this particular section, which is section 4 of the first module. Okay, so we ended the last module, the last session here, and I said we will go into this lab where we would have a thorough understanding of what our Azure Machine Learning Studio looks like. Of course, I would switch directly to the link, and if you have the link, here is the link, and this is like this is the link, and all the instructions that needed to be followed. Like I said, there's nothing too deep and too technical here for you. This is just fundamental knowledge as you decide to learn more about Azure machine learning, which is an arms of artificial intelligence. Of course, so in this exercise, you will use a data set of historical bicycle rental details. Of course, there's a particular small business who rents out bicycle. Okay, of course, so these bicycle rental businesses kind of documented some of their information as people are renting their bicycles. So now we're going to be using the data set to train a model. And so don't forget model. Like I've said, the most important thing in this AI and machine learning is model. You create a model. So for the model that predicts, so the model we are going to be creating will be predicting the number of bicycle rentals that should be expected in a given day based on seasonal and meteorological features. Of course, you would want to say, when it's raining, do people rent bicycle? Definitely not. You won't have more children, right? Renting more bicycle, because where I came from or where I grew up from, when people rent bicycle, it's just so to have fun, children having fun and just go around, ride, and you know what I mean. But you hardly expect that when it's raining. So perhaps maybe when it is snowy, or or within an adverse, you know, weather condition. So, but based on the past data that this business has, we would want to create a model and then to determine, to predict the amount of people that can come and rent the bicycle. So the first thing we do here is we create an Azure machine learning workspace. Okay, and don't forget, this is the Azure machine learning is the arms of the AI that we are learning. So there's a workspace dedicated on it on the Azure path on the Azure platform. So what I'm supposed to do, go to your Azure platform, sign into the Microsoft using your Microsoft credential. So what do? Create the resources, search for machine learning, and pick that resources that says Azure ML, Azure Machine Learning. Okay. Pick on the Azure Machine Learning plan, then supply the following settings. So let's go there. Okay, so now I am okay. Let me reconnect. So remember, this is where we stopped. So basically, I will just minimize this, and let me just minimize this so I can remember our anomaly detector. So it's still there. I can go back to home, and what am I supposed to do? Search for Azure Machine Learning. Can you see you have the studio here, Azure Machine Learning? So click on it and just go to create. Of course, not new registry, just create a new workspace. Okay, new workspace. So click on create a new workspace. So in creating a new workspace, so what information are we supposed to supply? So supply your subscriptions, supply your resource group, your workspace name, region, storage account, which you need to create a storage account, keyword. So let's do it one after the other. Okay, so what subscription are we using? We are using this subscription. So do we have a resource group? Remember, you don't need to create a new resource group. You've created the resource group name, maybe AI training or something, or AI 900, whatever. So for me, I've created this AI 900 training. So I pick that same resource group. Okay, so now we provide the workstation details. Configure your basic workstation settings like storage connections, authentications, container, and all of that. So you need all of this to work. Okay, so workstation, I can just say machine learning, AI, first character has to be AI machine learning. Okay. Can you see the name of my own workstation? AI machine learning. You can give it anything you want. Okay, so maintain your region. Okay, so let's go back to the instruction. So it said maintain, just choose any region that's closer to you. So storage account said note the default new storage account that will be created for your workspace. So which means a new storage account can be created. So, but meanwhile you can you can change your storage account. Okay, so maybe for the case of this, I might want to okay. So okay, just let it be. Leave the storage account. Leave the key vaults. Application insights. Leave it like that. Container registry. I'm so sure you have to leave it like that. So we said none. So why? He said one will be created automatically the first time you deploy a model to a container. Okay, so you can switch and try that again. Okay, so I want to believe that we have done that. So for container registry, you pick none. All right. So you can go to networking, advanced that, but for the sake of this training, just ignore those. Just go to review and click review plus create and click on create. So wait for your workstation to be created. So it can take a few minutes. So let's go. So let's go. Let's click on review plus create. Like I told you, it's going to validate. So as you can see, it's running some final validation. Do you have the subscription? Do you have these resources? Do you have the ability to do this? Are there policies that will be an impediment and all of that? So we will check all of those things and then grant you and then give you the opportunity to create. So now we are creating Azure machine learning tools. So now, so why that is being created, let's do a review. So once that is created, you select what? Launch Studio. So don't forget your Azure ML is a studio. So it's like a new studio, like a browser kind of a studio that is attached to Azure platform. So which means you can navigate to this particular navigate to this particular link to enter into that studio, okay, and sign in into Azure Machine Learning Studio using your Microsoft account, okay. So you can just do that. So if the order goes to there appears, just press cancel and all that. So now let's move. So we are still in deployment process. So why that is being deployed? So of course, in the Azure Machine Learning Studio, you see newly created workspace. If that's not in the case, click on Microsoft. So don't worry, once you enter the studio, you see all of these things that they're saying. So now let's look at this note. So this module is one of many that makes use of Azure Machine Learning Workspace, including the other modules. Okay, explore visual tools for machine learning part. So if you are using your own Azure subscription, you may consider creating the workspace once and reusing it in the other modules. Okay. So which means, like you said, you remember that the other module that we did, you still saw the work I was doing, it was still there. So which means that it's just saying that you can reuse it. So there's no need of creating new stuff. So your Azure subscription will be charged a small amount. Okay. So when Microsoft says small amount, well, remember they charge you in dollars for data storage as long as Azure Machine Learning Workspace exists in your subscription. All right. Okay, so now the first thing we're going to be doing is to create a compute. All right. So deployment is still in progress. Okay, so let's just give it time while that is in progress. Let's just give it a minute. Okay, guys. So thank you for waiting. There was no way we could speed up this process. So we just have to wait for the machine learning studio to be created and deployed. So right now our deployment is complete. So what do? We go to resources. All right. So the name of my resources is AI machine learning. Okay. So from here, this was the link that I will show you the other time, ml.azure.com. You can see, of course, then with HTTPS post code that's kind of peculiar to this particular point, like it becomes an endpoint like that. Okay, so so from here, let's see other instructions. So now we we okay, then go to the deploy resources, then launch studio. Good. Okay, so now let's launch our studio. It says launch studio. So now we go to the studio at ml.azure.com and that particular subscriptions and source group, blah blah blah, just one thing so that it can sign me in. So basically what you do is also once you do that you, okay, so signing in now. All right, as you can see, so this is what I was talking about. So what are your machine learning code today? So you don't need to supply any of this. So let's just okay. Now I have to drag this out. Okay, good. Because it seems to be on the same. So I'll drag this out. Okay, good. So now what we have here, it says if this appear, what do we do? Cancel. So let's cancel. Okay. Um, if welcome studio appear, also press cancel. And cancel because there's no time. All right. So what do we do next? So in Azure Machine Learning Studio, you should see your newly created workspace. So if that is not the case, click on Microsoft on the left-hand menu. So from the new left-hand menu, select workspace. There are all your workspaces associated to this subscription. Of course, so let me go there. All right, this is the name of our workspace, so there's no need of looking for Microsoft logo. Okay, so these are the workspace. So, but basically, if I come here, this is what it was saying. I can go to bespoke. So this is my recent workspace. Can you see? It says new. It's under the subscription. You can also create a workspace maybe for another job or another project you want to do. So as you can see, you can build an AI solution. You can introduce Azure SK machine learning. You can train a machine learning model. So you can do a lot of training, a lot of stuff. And that's that you can do here. So here you can go to our workspace. So if I click here, I directly into the workspace. Remember, this is where we are, the workspace. Good. All right. So now this module is one of the, I have, okay, we've gone through this. So now what's the first thing we need to do is to create a compute. So what is compute? Well, these are the compute are sort of machine that you need to use to run your job. So for example, it's like saying I want this type of computer to do my job, that type of computer. So this computer must have this type of RAM, it must have this size, it must have this memory. I want this type of storage to come with it. So that's what's called compute for those of you that might not be familiar with that. Okay. So in the Learning Studio, select the three lines at the top left to view the various page in the interface. So you might need to maximize the screen so you can use the page left app to manage resources in your workspace. So select compute under manage. All right, so switch back to your, switch back. So this is what they are trying to maximize our screen, of course. Okay, so here you have the name of the organization, you have new, you have home, so you have auto. So under auto, you can create notebooks, automated machine learning. Remember from our power line, from our PowerPoint. Okay, then design. Remember from our PowerPoint, we spoke about design where you create pipeline. Do you remember where you create pipeline from? Okay, so see, look at assets, other assets. You have data, you have jobs, you have components, you have pipelines, you have environments, you have models, and you have endpoints. Of course, so try and drag down here. Okay. Okay, so I decided to drag up. So under manage, we have compute, we have link services, and we have data labeling. So click on compute. So we're going to compute. So under compute, you see compute instances. So what are your instances? Instances are maybe your virtual machines that deployed. So we call them instance. Okay, so you can have a lot of them. So then you have compute cluster. What are your cluster? Your cluster are 2, 3, 4 machines, working together as one. So then you have your inference cluster. Then you have your attached compute. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to our instruction. So under compute page now, select compute cluster tab. So now we are under compute now. So select the compute tab, add a new compute cluster. The following setting you will use to train a machine learning model. So now we are under compute. So we should create what? Go to compute cluster. All right. So from under compute cluster, what do we do? You can create a single or multi-node compute cluster for your training, for our training. So what do we do? So it says we should add a new compute cluster. So that's to train our model. So you click on new under compute. Click on new. So here you have virtual machine. So you're actually creating a virtual machine to run this job. Okay, then from there you go to advanced setting. So you can change your location depending on the location you have been using, which is better. So for me, I would stick to the East US. So virtual machine tier. So what sort of tiers are we looking at? So let's go back to the instruction we have there. So it says our location, select the same location as your workspace, the one we are using. So the virtual machine tiers should be dedicated. Okay. We have different type of tiers. We have dedicated. So this is dedicated to the job. Okay. Or low priority. So we want the one that is dedicated to the job. Of course. Then the next settings is virtual machine type. What type of virtual machine? You say we should pick CPU. Pick CPU, not GPU. So your CPU, your GPU is more of graphical. If you need to process maybe video, rendering, you need to do more video rendering, high volumes of images and videos stuffs that require graphics, high graphics, we use that. Okay. But don't forget, you're just working on data, yeah, figures. All right, so let's pick on the virtual machine size. So virtual machine size, so you want us to choose from all options. Let's select from all options. So from the virtual machine size now, so there are two options. Select from recommended options. So this was the option that was recommended. 4 cores, 14 gigabyte, and this is how much it cost us in 1 hour. Okay, but they want us to come to this place and select from other options. So click from here. Good, and then so we said select from other options. So we should search for standard DS11 version 2. Standard DS11. This is D11. DS11 version. So standard. So look at it. Standard DS11 version 2. So pick it. So it's a 2 virtual cores, 14 gig RAM, 20 gig storage, memorize 0.18 per hour. Okay, that's kind of smaller time. All right. So what do we do? So we should click on next. Okay. So we click on next. So now we have moved to advanced setting from virtual machine to advanced setting. Okay. So don't forget this was the computer, the virtual machine that we picked. This was the name of the size. This computer is memory optimized, and this is FIFA more of memory than more of memory than storage and performance and all that. Okay, so available contacts, course, storage 20 gig and all of that. Okay, so now let's go back. So now that we have chosen next, so we have compute name. It says enter a unique name. So I can call this my AI ML VM. Okay. AI, that is AI machine learning virtual machine. Okay. Um, okay. So number of nodes. So number of nodes should be 0. Okay. Minimum number of nodes should be 0. Maximum number of nodes should be 2. That is, this can deploy 2 machines at the same time. Minimum 0. Maximum 2. Okay. Idle seconds before scale down 120. So in 120 seconds, if it's idle, it will scale down to 1 or 0. Okay. Let's leave it in 120. Okay. So enable SSH access, clear. It says clear. So it means if you check this, we are trying to enable it. So what they mean by clear is just check it, let it be like that so that we provide any information. Okay, great. Okay, so clear. So we should select what? Select create. So now we going to select create. So notice that we didn't go to advanced setting because there was nothing to do at the advanced setting. So click on create. So that virtual machine is being created within the Microsoft Azure Machine Learning Studio. Okay, so as you can see, this is being created. So all right. So let's just give it a minute while this is being created.